If you want 210 in the Cambridge C1 Advanced Speaking Test, then this video is for you, because today I'm focusing on parts 1 and 2, and I'm going to give you formulas and real examples that you can copy. Most students think that getting 210 means giving long answers and using loads of advanced vocabulary, but honestly, that's usually what stops you getting 210. Long answers turn into rambling, and advanced words that you don't control turn into mistakes and awkward pauses. So here's what we'll do. First, I'll show you the easiest part 1 rule that makes you sound controlled, and then I'll show you the part 2 structure that works every time. Compare, speculate, answer, and close. And I'll give you 3 full part 2 model answers plus loads of part 1 examples. And these are the same speaking habits that I train in my C1 students who want higher marks: clear structure, natural language, and confident timing. If you're new here, hi, I'm Izzy from English with Izzy, and I'm your Cambridge C1 Advanced exam preparation teacher. If you want more speaking videos like this, just subscribe and like the video. Right, let's start with part 1. Now, a quick note. The part 1 questions I'm about to use are from KSE Academy materials, and I'm using them here for exam style practice and teaching. Excellent exam resources. I highly recommend them. Part 1 is a short interview, around 2 minutes total, where you and your partner will speak. So it's actually very short. So your job is not to give a speech. Your job is to sound natural, clear, and controlled. The part 1 rule is answer, add one thing, and stop. That's it. Answer the question directly, add one strong add-on like a reason, an example, contrast, or result, and then stop cleanly. Now, your timing target is 2 to 3 sentences, about 10 to 20 seconds. So now I'll show you with real part 1 questions. What's your favorite way to unwind after a busy day? Honestly, I like going for a walk. It helps me switch off, especially if I've been staring at a screen all day. For example, I'll put a podcast on and just walk around my neighborhood for 20 minutes and then stop. Do you see what I did there? I stopped before it turned into a documentary. Do you think people today have too many choices in life? I think we probably do. It can be exhausting because you spend ages deciding instead of acting. For instance, even choosing a series on Netflix can take longer than actually watching the episode. Stop. What role does technology play in your daily routine? A pretty big role, to be honest. It definitely saves time, like with online banking and maps, but it also distracts me. For example, I'll check my messages and suddenly I'm watching videos for half an hour and stop. Do you see what I did there? I used a contrast, but I kept it simple. Have you picked up any new skills or interests in the past year? Yes, I've started cooking more. I used to eat the same 3 meals, but now I try one new recipe every week. Last week I attempted homemade sushi and it looked like a crime scene, but it tasted fine. And stop. If you could change one thing about your current lifestyle, what would it be? I'd probably improve my sleep schedule. When I sleep well, everything else is easier. For example, I focus better, I'm less stressed, and I don't need 3 coffees just to function. And stop. A quick part 1 tip: don't overdo starters. Use one natural phrase and then just speak normally. To be honest, that's an interesting question, if I'm honest, so don't stack them like a nervous sandwich. If you want a list of excellent speaking exam starters, I'll link my big C1 Advanced Speaking Test PDF of phrases, which has helped more than 22,000 exam students already, and you can find it up here in the corner and also in the description below. Now, part 1 is easy when you control length, so let's go to part 2. A quick note. The part 2 photo tasks I'm using are also from KSE Academy materials, and I'm using them here for exam style practice and teaching. This is not paid promo, I just really like his speaking tests. Now, a quick reminder of the task. You get 3 photos, choose 2, and speak for 1 minute, comparing them and answering the questions. Then your partner has a 30-second follow-up question. What the examiner wants is this: compare similarities and differences, speculate using language like might, could, likely, I get the impression, and answer the question clearly and finish on time. My structure is pick your photos, compare, speculate, answer, and then close. Here's a time map you can use for 60 seconds. In the first 0 to 10 seconds, you want to do an overview of the pictures. Then in seconds 10 to 25 or 30, you want to compare and speculate. From seconds 30 to 55, you want to answer the questions directly. And last but not least, in the last 5 seconds, just give a one sentence conclusion. Now let's have a look at 3 full model answers. In the first photo, we can see someone rock climbing on a steep cliff, whereas in the second photo, a group of people are whitewater rafting. So both are adventurous, but one looks more individual and technical, and the other is clearly a team experience. The climber might have chosen this challenge because they enjoy pushing themselves mentally and physically, and it's likely that they've trained for a long time because the equipment and technique look quite serious. By contrast, the rafting group may be looking for excitement and a shared experience, and they're probably less experienced individually, but they rely on a guide and teamwork to stay safe. In terms of preparation, the climber seems highly prepared with specialized gear, while the rafters are protected with helmets and life jackets, but they're more dependent on conditions and communication. Overall, both activities offer an adrenaline rush, but climbing appears to require more personal skill and planning. Do you see what I did there? I ended with overall, so it sounds finished and not just cut off. In the first photo, a surgeon appears to be operating with advanced equipment, whereas in the second photo, a farmer is using digital screens inside a tractor. So both jobs rely on technology, but the consequences are very different. For the surgeon, technology is probably essential because it can increase precision and reduce risk, although the challenge is that any technical failure could be extremely serious. On the other hand, the farmer likely uses technology to improve efficiency, for example, through GPS and data, but they might struggle with costs, maintenance, or software problems during those busy seasons. Both people may also need training to use the equipment confidently because it's not just a button that you press and magically everything works overall. Technology seems crucial in both cases, but in medicine, the pressure is higher because mistakes can have immediate consequences. In the first photo, a person is looking at a map in the street, whereas in the second photo, a student is reading university information. So both situations involve making decisions, but one is immediate and practical, and the other is long term and life changing. The person with the map might need to decide quickly. Maybe they're lost or trying to arrive somewhere on time. They're probably feeling slightly stressed at first, but they may become more confident once they find the right route. By contrast, the student is likely choosing a course or a university, so this decision could feel much heavier. It may involve money, future career options, and where they'll live. And in terms of confidence, the person using the map might feel fairly sure once they've checked the direction, while the student could be much less certain because they can't predict the outcome. Overall, both decisions require thinking and problem solving, but the university decision seems to be more challenging because the consequences last much longer. Quick note, these answers sound C1 because of structure, comparisons, and clear speculation. Now, if you want a noticeable change in your Cambridge answers, the waitlist for my C1 Advanced Exam Success Program is now open. It's a complete system with weekly live classes, exam strategies, practice tests with AI feedback, and also personalized feedback in class to help you pass in about 6 months. Spots are very limited because I keep the group small for maximum speaking time, and the link is in the description below. Okay, back to the video. After every part 2 practice, ask yourself, did I compare, not just describe? Did I use speculation like might, could, or likely? Did I answer the question directly? Did I finish with a conclusion? Did I stay within a minute? So if you want 210 in C1 speaking, parts 1 and 2 are all about control. Part 1, answer, add one thing, and stop. And in part 2, pick your photos, compare, speculate, answer the questions, and close. You can do this. You just have to believe in yourself, apply these strategies, and practice. Guys, Thanks for watching, and tell me in the comments, what would you like me to talk about in the next video?